The moment you defend your honor with a sharp tongue, you've already surrendered your power. Every time you react, you aren't being strong. You're simply showing the world exactly where your strings are. If you are exhausted from that constant stinging vibration of stress in your chest and the invisible burden of always being on guard, then listen closely. You have been playing the puppet for too long. But what if I told you that your exhaustion isn't caused by the people who provoke you, but by a specific way you are holding your own mind? Stay with me, and I'll reveal an ancient foundry secret called the secret of the grip. I'm going to give you a 4-second mental ritual that quenches provocation instantly, leaving you with a level of peace and unshakable authority that no one can ever take away from you. However, before you can master this 4-second ritual, you must first understand the hidden cost of the shield you are carrying right now, a cost that is quietly draining your life force every single morning. Kale lived his life in the center of a storm that never seemed to break. Every morning he woke up with his guards already high, bracing for a world that felt hostile, a constant grinding friction of modern existence. You know that feeling when you're just waiting for the next person to mess up your day? For Kyle, this wasn't just a mood. It was an exhausting reality where a simple red light felt like a personal insult and an office email sent his heart into a frantic gallop. He carried the invisible burden, a heavy cold dread in the chest that no gym could ever lift. He believed that if he didn't snap back, he'd be seen as a pushover, equating his sharp tongue with a reliable shield. But here's the trap. Every time he won an argument, he felt more hollow and tired than before. He was burning his own house down just to keep others from seeing his light. He was reacting to everything, which meant he was actually in control of absolutely nothing at all. But Kale was about to discover that the noise he used to defend himself was actually a cage, and the only way out was a path he never expected to take. However, there is a reason most people fail when they try to just be calm. There is a hidden mechanism in the way your ego functions that Tenzin was about to expose, a test so silent it would nearly drive Kale to the breaking point. Kale reached the foundry demanding a weapon to defeat his provocators, but Master Tenzin offered something far more intimidating, a day and night of absolute silence. As a massive bell glowed a dull, angry red nearby, Kale was forbidden from moving or speaking, even as Tenzin deliberately dropped heavy tools and whispered sharp insults about his character. Every insult felt like a spark landing on dry tinder. In those agonizing hours, Kale realized his impulse to speak was actually a desperate need to hide his own fear of being judged. He was breaking the habit of a lifetime, one silent second at a time. He began to see that the noise Tenzin made didn't actually touch him unless he reached out to grab it. He was no longer just holding back. He was building a reservoir of quiet power that felt more solid than any shield. But the most difficult part of the test was yet to come. Tenzin was about to reveal a physical demonstration using a simple basin of water that would change how Kyle viewed his tomorrow forever. You'll be shocked to see how one tiny vibration you allow today can literally poison your opportunities for the next week. Tenzin revealed a heavy tuning fork and a basin of water so clear it looked like liquid glass. Without warning, he struck the fork against stone, creating a piercing hum that made Kale's teeth ache. That vibration is the frequency of your ego catching an insult not meant for you. When Tenzin touched the vibrating metal to the water, the pristine calm was instantly replaced by a chaotic mess of muddy ripples. The strike is the insult, Tenzin explained, but the water is your own life, your own future, and your own precious mind. Most people think they are attacking their enemy when they snap back. In reality, you are the one stirring the mud in your own basin, while the person who provoked you has already moved on. Kale realized with horror that his misery was a choice he was making with his own hands. You have been holding that tuning fork tight, letting it ruin your dinners and spoil your sleep, unaware that you are a prisoner to a hum that started with someone else's stone. But there is a hollow space in the human spirit that can stop this vibration before it ever touches your water. Tenzin was about to show Kale the exact physical adjustment of the hand, a secret grip that kills the energy of an attack instantly. If you don't learn this specific grip, you will continue to muddy your future, no matter how hard you try to stay calm. Tenzin struck the stone again, the air screaming with that jagged frequency, and pressed the vibrating metal into Kale's palm. Kale's instinct was to squeeze tight, but the vibration only traveled deeper into his bones. Then, the master showed him the secret, how to create a hollow space within his own steady palm. By holding the anger with a specific, relaxed tension, Neither crushing it nor letting it fall, Kyle became the mountain. Miraculously, the piercing sound faded into a manageable thrum. Kyle wasn't suppressing the energy. He was refusing to give it a path to travel through. He realized the ultimate truth. He who reacts is a puppet. He who remains still is the master of the strings. Every insult he'd ever felt was just a string someone pulled to see if he would dance. Before Kale left, Tenzin gave him the 4-second pillar ritual to protect his peace forever. When provocation strikes, you visualize a pillar of cool, gray stone rising in your chest. For 4 seconds, you breathe into it, letting the world's vibration hit the stone until the string simply snaps. Kale walked away lighter. The invisible burden burned away by the heat of the forge. But as he reached the door, he saw one final object that made him realize he had only scratched the surface of this power. You see, the 4-second ritual is a shield for the moment, but what about the stones you've been carrying for years? What about the weight you don't even realize is still there? There is a final, deeper layer to the secret of the grip that determines if you will truly stay free or eventually be pulled back into the noise. And it all comes down to a choice you must make before this video ends. As Kale left the foundry, he felt a lightness he hadn't known in years, as if the invisible burden had finally been burned away. He was no longer a passenger to his own adrenaline, but the captain of a very calm ship. But now, you have to ask yourself a hard truth. Who is holding the tuning fork in your life right now? Is it a toxic boss, a lingering resentment, or the ghost of a version of yourself that felt the need to shout to be heard? We've all spent too many nights with muddy water, exhausted by vibrations that weren't even ours to begin with. Many of the stories you hear here aren't just stories. They reflect the invisible weight you may be carrying every day. If you're tired of holding pain, responsibility, and guilt that were never yours, I created a path for you to find the same silence Kale found. My ebook, The Weight of Stones That Are Not Yours, is the definitive guide for those who want to let go, set boundaries, and live with absolute lightness. But because I know that naming the vibration is only the first step, I have included 2 vital tools to ensure your water never ripples again. Bonus 1, Learning to Let Go, the advanced secret of the grip for deep-seated resentments. Bonus 2, When Saying No is an Act of Self-Love, how to build your pillar of stone against people-pleasing. You aren't losing the argument, you are winning your life back. True respect is commanded through the absolute, terrifying power of a person who cannot be shaken. The world will always strike the stone, but only you decide if the water ripples. Stop being the puppet. Become the master of your strings today. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment.